From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kegan Kline. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kegan Kline, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, March 30th. It's going to be mostly clear to start our Thursday. Some clouds will increase in the later half of the day with the next weather system coming in for tomorrow. But today's going to be really beautiful. Lots of sunshine. We're going to reach upper 50s to low 60s. Indianapolis police say a carjacking suspect shot by officers is now stable at the hospital, upgraded from critical condition. The investigation shut down part of I-65 on the city's northwest side for hours. It all started just after 4 yesterday afternoon. IMPD says the suspect carjacked someone after crashing at 56th and Georgetown. Police say he then led officers on a chase to the Kessler Boulevard ramp to I-65 South, got out, and pointed a gun at police. That's when IMPD says 2 officers shot the suspect. Police say it appears the officers involved had very little time to react before firing their guns.
Officers don't have time to think about these things. We don't have time to sit back and, watch what happened and think about every different scenario that may be occurring.
Detectives say they found a handgun near the suspect. Police say officers were wearing body cameras and they were on. The officers who fired their guns are now on administrative leave as IMPD investigates. Today, the man facing 25 child porn charges in a case linked to the Delphi murders is set to plead guilty. The lawyer for Kegan Kline has written in court filings that a plea deal was reached, but it's not clear exactly what will happen at this morning's hearing. So even though Kline's lawyer wrote in the court filing that a plea deal had been made, the prosecutor says a deal has not been reached. Kline is expected at the Miami County Courthouse at 10 o'clock this morning. He's accused of using the Anthony Shots social media profile to get nearly 100 sexually explicit photos and videos of underage girls. Kline's attorney has indicated that Kline will plead guilty to at least some of the charges. However, even the judge has expressed skepticism at what might happen in court. iTeammate spoke with Sonia Learcamp. She's a former Hamilton County prosecutor. She says nothing is a done deal until the sentencing has happened.
I'm sure that the judge at this point is wanting to make sure that he gets the defendant on record. He has advised him of all of his rights and that the judge is clear and the defendant is clear on the terms and conditions that the defendant is agreeing to as part of the plea agreement.
We have confirmed from Indiana State Police that they believe Kline used the Anthony Shots social media profile to exchange messages with 14-year-old Libby German. As we know, police found her and Abby Williams murdered in February of 2017 in Delphi. A transcript of a state police interview suggests Kline was exchanging messages with Libby, even discussing meeting up in the days before the killings. Sources tell iTeam8 that Kline's own words triggered the weeks-long search of the Wabash River last year, indicating the investigators they would find evidence in the river connected to the Delphi murders. Court documents also show Kline and prosecutors were in negotiations about the child porn case at the same time, but never indicated an agreement was reached. Learcamp, who you just heard from, says defendants have been known to change their minds even after a plea agreement is offered. The trial is scheduled for May. Governor Holcomb says he will not hesitate on the newly passed gender-affirming care ban. Whether that means actually signing it remains unclear. Holcomb said yesterday he's reviewing the bill and thinks it will get to his desk within a day or two. It bans hormone therapy, puberty blockers, and surgery for minors wanting to transition. Critics call the bill an act of big government. Holcomb disagrees, saying lawmakers did not overstep their bounds.
And it's the parents' right and responsibility to care for that child's health. It's also their legal obligation. And what is legally permissible for a minor on this front or other examples are dealt with in the State House by the legislature.
Holcomb will have 7 days to act on the bill once it officially reaches his desk. Purdue is banning the use of TikTok on university Wi-Fi and devices. Purdue is the latest in a growing list of organizations to make similar moves. University leaders say they made the decision based on the invasive privacy and user agreements that allow the app to access phone data. Purdue says the ban will provide more protection for its systems. The ban does not include private devices using off-campus networks. A no-contact order is in place for a former Huntington University track coach accused of abusing athletes. Nicholas Johnson appeared in court yesterday. A judge ordered Johnson to stay away from his accusers, then released Johnson after he posted a $1,000 cash bond. As we've reported, 3 athletes are suing Johnson, his wife, and the university. The victims claim they were subjected to sexual assault and injections of unknown drugs. No word when Johnson could appear in court next. We're gaining insight into why the newest member of the Indianapolis Public Library Board is deciding not to support a popular choice for library CEO. We first told you about Dr. Eugene White's comments Tuesday morning on Daybreak on Wish TV. He told the audience at Monday night's board meeting that he changed his mind on supporting Nichelle Hayes for the job. He also mentioned an email he sent to Hayes outlining his reasoning. News 8 obtained that email from a source who wants to remain anonymous. In it, White reiterated an apology to Hayes for, in his words, the manner in which the CEO search exploited and hurt Hayes. White accused the board of knowing Hayes was not ready for the job and that the board didn't have the courage to explain why to the community. White writes, Hayes does not have the same practical experience as the current interim CEO, Greg Hill, and recommended Hill for the position. News 8 reached out to Hayes for a comment but has not gotten a reply. The Lebanon Public Library will no longer open today as planned as police continue to investigate a threat. As we reported, police say the Indiana Suicide Hotline sent them a warning about a person who was ready to enter the library with multiple guns Tuesday evening. Police searched the area and didn't find anyone. The library closed yesterday as a precaution. And now it says it will reopen Monday. The library did not offer any additional details. Police in Richmond are warning about a drastic increase in counterfeit money. So far, police say they've received 14 reports of counterfeit bills. Police say all of the bills somehow do indicate that they're not legal. The bills are marked as replica, promotion, picture, use only, or play money. But they do, at first glance, look very real. Police are warning anyone who handles money, be careful about examining the bills, especially the larger denominations. Another old Central Indiana Marsh location will soon be redeveloped. Anderson leaders say developer Kinmar bought the property sitting vacant on Nickel Avenue. It plans to convert the building into a Needler's Fresh Market and an Ace hardware store. Kinmar says the closest grocery store is more than 3 miles away. It plans to spend $8 million on renovations. Construction could start this summer. A historic 5-year labor deal, more than doubling players' salaries, has been tentatively reached between minor leaguers and the MLB. That's according to the Associated Press. As part of the deal, the MLB agreed to not reduce the number of minor league affiliates from the current 120. This includes the Indianapolis Indians. They'll also receive 4 weeks of retroactive spring training pay for this year. The FDA is giving the green light to the first over-the-counter opioid treatment. Officials approved Narcan yesterday, meaning patients can now get it without a prescription. The agency says the nasal spray will come in 2 doses when it arrives in stores by late summer. The spray can reverse overdoses of opioids, including heroin, fentanyl, and oxycodone. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre called it a win. It's unclear how much Narcan will cost once it appears in stores. And to business headlines, Amazon is starting to warn consumers when products sold on its platform are regularly shipped back for returns. The warning label will encourage consumers to check the item details and reviews before making their purchase, helping customers avoid misleading or low-quality products and reducing unnecessary returns. Rocket Mortgage has launched a credit card to help you save for or pay off a home. Charges and points go to saving for a down payment. However, the points can only be used on a Rocket Mortgage, and consumer experts say committing to a lender so early may not get you the best rate. Some of the biggest names in tech are calling for artificial intelligence labs to take a break developing powerful AI systems for at least 6 months. They cite profound risks to society and humanity. Elon Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak were among those who signed the letter. The letter comes just 2 weeks after OpenAI announced GPT-4, a more powerful chat GPT. In a company demo, the technology was shown drafting lawsuits, passing standardized exams, and building a working website from a hand-drawn sketch. Cal-Maine Foods, the largest egg producer in the United States, reported revenue doubled and profits surged 718% last quarter because of sharply higher egg prices. The company, which controls about 20% of the U.S. egg market, according to Reuters, said its average selling price for a dozen eggs in the quarter ending February 25th was $3.30, more than double the average of $1.61 a year earlier. And the USDA proposes changes to expand the free school lunch program. The USDA's community eligibility provision helps school districts where at least 40% of students benefit from SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.